This is Quadrant Christianity Lecture 34. Jove's oak was also known as Donar's oak and Thor's oak. Pagans also called it the oak of Jupiter. I discussed that Jupiter was represented by the number 4. Jupiter's name derives from Zeus Pater, Father Zeus. Zeus is a 4-letter name. The oak tree was sacred to the Germanic peoples. Saint Boniface cut the tree down and used it to build a church. Legend has it Roberto Muller claimed that when the tree fell, the 4 parts of the tree formed a cross. A cross is a quadrant. In astrology, 4 is a symbol for the Roman god Jupiter and the Greek equivalent Zeus. The moon represents the personality of the soul, raised above and supported by the quadrant of matter. Saints of the church were said to have prayed in a cruciform fashion with their arms outstretched in order to imitate Christ. For instance, St. Francis prayed with his arms cruciform. The 4-document hypothesis says that there were at least 4 sources to the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke. They were the Gospel of Mark, Q, M source, and L source. Streeter's 4-document hypothesis. The Book of Ruth has 4 parts. The Chinese word for happiness pictorially is God one with man in the garden. The garden is represented by the quadrant. I watch lectures where Chinese pastors say that the pictogram for the Chinese word for God has a cross in it. God with the cross in it. The word for garden in Chinese is represented by a quadrant. I have seen Chinese pastors say that the symbol of the garden and man in the name for God is a symbol of the cross. There are 4 main Christian millennial teachings. There are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Death, Famine, War, and Conquest, an 1887 painting by Victor Vosnetsov. The Lamb is visible at the top. The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse are Death, Famine, War, Conquest. The 4 colors of the horses are 3+1 pattern, with the 4th different: red, white, black, and pale. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse by Arnoldo del Ra, Neo-Roman Project of Mosaic. The 7 seals in Revelations are described as a 4+3.